Welcome back to Healthcare Sucks! And healthcare is definitely sucking like usual. By the way, a real quick thing on the stimulus. It looks like checks are going to come out next week. To who and who gets what and how much is just a rat race, guys. As we've covered before, it looks like the banks and the Wall Street, again, are the big winners tonight and tomorrow and the next day and in the future. With how much? Over $1 trillion to the bozos. Yeah, trillion. And it's unaccountable where it's all going. We're never going to know where all that money's going and to what fat cats are sucking it up. But you can be damn sure that us deplorables, wow, if we get 1,000 here and maybe 1,000 one more time, boy, we were taken so well care of, weren't we? That's if we even get it, guys. You know? And as far as unemployment, I can't even tell you the numbers because there's so many people out there that can't even file. It's breaking down the system. You know what? They can handle this. Don't give me that crap. We're talking about anybody that can look from space into your backyards and tell what kind of underwear you're wearing. And they've got computers and stuff that can handle. I don't want to hear they can't handle it, guys. This is just because the states themselves are not set up to do this correctly. You know what? It's the Fed program. Let the Fed step in and help the states too now. You know, they could tie things together. This is just a stall. And again, their final mission, they're idiots. Because as soon as the people don't have food, which is now, or, don't have money to pay and to do things, they're not going to stay in the house. Period. And we're already seeing it. Summer's here. People are not going to stay in their houses. They could have released and opened it up for people to go out in the mountains and stuff. What the hell does it matter? Okay. And fishing if you're distancing. Okay. Other things if you're distancing. I guess motorcycle riding's open board right for the moment, but they'll probably be changing that too, guys. But the bottom line is a lot of people don't even have air conditioning. Lots. So when the temperatures rise, they're not going to be in the house. They can't be in the house. It's going to cause a whole nother catastrophe. So I'm just putting that out there for everybody to think about. So much more going on, though. Let's listen to what's going on up here.
Medium security prison has the highest number of confirmed COVID-19 cases.
This is part of the last video, guys.
More than 50 cases have been confirmed at prisons across Canada. Canada's public health officer is sending a warning to Canadians during this Easter long weekend. She says now is not the time to give up physical distancing.
This year, it's got to be all about the staycation for the nation. The choice of where to be, home in your bubble, with your existing household members only, has never been clearer. There is no choice but to plank the curve, then crack.
Stay home in your bubble. You heard her? Isn't that nuts? I know it's Canada, guys, but they're trying to pull the same thing no matter where you're at. No matter where you're at, they're pulling the same thing. Stay home in your bubble. I don't know. It just rubs me wrong, guys. Don't get me wrong. We need to be doing something, yes. But, the more time goes on and the more we look at this, again, we've touched on it so much, guys. By the way, thanks for tuning in, Team 99. You're always awesome. You're there. You're ahead of the curve. We've made the grade, man. We're surviving it. And the rest of you, if you're somebody new, welcome to Healthcare Sucks, where we bring you the truth. We don't candy coat it here. And we bring you possibly what's going to happen next. And I'll tell you, if you go back and watch the videos, you can see how accurate we've been. With that, we use the Fair Use Act. Nothing here's real until the Wuhan monster's at your door. And he's there now. So we're going to listen to some more of this. Stay in your bubble. Oh my God.
Shit.
The Prime Minister has warned life won't get back to normal anytime soon. But as Michael Couture explains, some leaders at the provincial level are sounding more optimistic, even talking about the path to recovery.
we need eventually to restart the economy and give hope to the population.
On the eve of Easter, Quebec's premier is already talking about resurrecting his province's economy, claiming Quebec is approaching the peak of the pandemic. François Legault isn't ruling out bringing back schools by May 4th because everyone is following health recommendations, even himself.
We can be proud of ourselves. We're doing everything we can. Pardon.
Prime Minister Justin Trudeau agrees with Legault. However, he believes easing some of the health measures is months, not weeks away. Adding projections show the end of the first wave of COVID-19 will come in the summer.
At least he's been honest about months. You know, that's what we're looking at. Now we're going to jump to New York.
Begin tonight with breaking news, two stark numbers that show how dramatically coronavirus has changed life in America. Tonight, the death toll nationwide has now reached more than 16,000, and more than 6 million Americans have filed for unemployment in just the last week. In New York today, the governor compared the pandemic to September 11th, calling it evil and stressing that people should continue to stay at home, even though there are signs that the curve may be flattening. That's because fewer people are being admitted to the hospital now, but more people are still dying each day. Nationwide, there are now 425,000 confirmed cases, though there are still concerns that without widely available testing, those numbers may not represent the total amount of infections. And as we come on the air tonight, a plan to add another $250 billion to that fund to loan money to small businesses has stalled in Congress, even as the number of Americans who have lost their jobs since the crisis began has now reached nearly 17 million. That's twice the population of New York City. Our team is covering every angle of this, and we'll get to the financial fallout in just a moment. But Mola Lenghi leads us off tonight in the epicenter of the crisis, New York City. Mola?
Well, Nora, health officials canceled plans today to open up another field hospital in New York City, similar to this one here in Central Park. Why? Hospitalizations have flattened for 5 days in a row. So, while there are encouraging signs, today was still a sobering day here in New York City.
Today, another deadly record high, reminding some of the last time so many New Yorkers were lost.
It was a silent explosion that just ripples through society.
And I want to touch on this not opening the hospital thing, guys. There's other people, they could be doing other treatments and other things right now, too. There's other necessities that people need to go to the hospital right now, and they're not being seen. They're not being addressed. And people are being locked up in their homes and told, you know, here's this and that. A lot of people are going without meds, by the way. Now that has started. A lot of people were not getting the meds because of the med cuts, because of the falsification over the opium farce and the mental health meds that have been pulled for so many. And then you lock them and throw them up, suffer in a hole or your home. If it's not calling your home a hole, by no means, guys. But you know what I mean, lock people up. No, I mean, see, they could be treating this. I guarantee you there's a lot of mental illness right now they could have been treating there. They need to be treating that across the United States right now. And they need to loosen up the mental health meds and the pain meds. There's no reason that people should suffer during a crisis like this when we all know now, and I covered it, guys. It's not that there isn't addiction. There's always going to be addiction. But people who can control their meds and stuff should not be made to suffer. I don't know how many times I'm going to say this over and over. There's good apples. They should not suffer for people who can't control themselves. And so with that, there needs to be an ease. If you're going to lock people in their homes, they should not be suffering from pain meds or mental health crisis. They should have their meds. Bottom line. I mean, there's no reason not to be having this. You're going to see this way out of control in the next week or two. We're going to be watching people break down. We're going to be, as the summer thing comes on, people are not going to stay restricted up. And they're not going to stay in there when temperatures get too hot, just like as if it got too cold and you didn't have your heater broke down. Kind of the same scenario, but we're looking at heat now. And many, many, many people do not have air conditioners, especially in Oregon anyway. That's why we open the windows, we go outside. And they're going to have to ease going out into some of the spots where people will be away from each other. I mean, bottom line, guys, is you cannot lock up America the way they did in China. I've said this from my videos way back when. It's just not going to work. And there's not enough police out there, and there's not enough jail space to start locking people up. And the fines are a joke. If they're going to fine people, people have no money to pay the fines. How are you going to pay the fines? So it's redundant and ridiculous to even fine somebody for this stuff. Now, again, I understand everybody needs to be careful and whatever. But one more time, there's a lot more going on. This is not just about the Wuhan monster. This is not about alone the bioweapon that was released by, I really believe, one world order, one world government is stepping in. This was their move. This is the move we've watched out for years. It is now taking effect in our lifetime, guys. You are seeing it going. There's just no way something that basically, I'm not saying is equal to the flu in any way, but the numbers are similar. I'm saying the numbers. And with that being said, if we're going to worry about all this, they need to tell the truth that this thing can come around a second time. You can catch this another second time. After you get released, it's still in your blood. You're a carrier. I mean, these things are not being addressed. Then let's throw out the mosquitoes going to be getting out. It's going to be anything that bites you can pass it. Anything that's a rat, animals and stuff. I guarantee you, we covered this a while back. When they shut down the businesses, that doesn't mean the rats aren't going crazy and the mice and other animals, possums, raccoons, you name it. And they're going to be going in and destroying and just having a ball. I mean, without pest control daily almost. That's what human beings fighting off these things. And the cockroaches and you name it in these big cities and even some little cities that have problems. So there's a lot more going on, guys. Just wait. Wait till they start to open these businesses back up and they look at what has gone on. And there's piles of rat crap there that looks like nobody's lived there for a year, because they've just ran wild and done their thing. There's nobody going out there and pest control and all this stuff right now. It's just not happening. So anyway, there's lots more going on. I just wanted to cover a little bit. As far as what's really going on, other than I do honestly feel they're implementing one world government and one world order. I think real soon we're going to see some weird things involved with us getting food, guys. When the states, I called upon the states, including our governor and our representatives, to issue just $500 on a food stamp card and $500 cash. Do you know what I finally found a response was? I read something last night, and this is going to pee you off. Let's say you do get food stamps and you get this measly little $50 a month. Or let's say you get $200 a month, okay? Well, unless you're new to the SNAP system, you're not going to see any increase. And if you did, it would be like $10 or $15. What the hell is $10 or $15? A couple bags of cereal, in your bag and a gallon of milk? I mean, what the hell? No, we're talking $500 on a food stamp card and $500 cash immediately. They should have done this all along. And every state is guilty for this, by the way. No matter what state you're in, no matter who your governor is, no matter who your representatives are, they could have taken the action on this. They could have done it. Any state that filed emergency funds, enacted an emergency situation, got state money released, and the president released federal money on top of it. You know what they've done? They've installed everybody, made everybody suffer in getting these damn food lines for hours, which is ridiculous, guys. That is not the resolve. We could have issued people these monies to help, no matter what state it is. When the president did it, it takes effect on all states. They could have released it. You know what they're waiting for? They're waiting to see if people get this itty-bitty stimulus crap, and hopefully they're going to hide away and not touch those reserves, not touch that federal money, not touch the state money. At least so far. Have you gotten a check? Have you gotten the extra food stamps? Have you seen any real help, guys? Not much. And I put to you, these people that are like, the food banks are just exhausted, guys. They were exhausted before. I covered some of this. The food banks were exhausted. Now they're extremely exhausted. And most of the time you go to food banks, let's just talk the truth for a minute. You get like a couple of things you and your family will eat, and then the rest of it you're like, oh my God, but hey, it's emergency times. We'll eat it. We'll toughen up and we'll eat it. But it ain't never enough. It's the other product. There isn't enough there. And they're talking people going once a month to these things. People need to have, like I've called for again, have a National Guard go out and drop like shopping cart size deliveries. They could tap in. There is tons of stuff put away that they could go tap into. And they could give this USDA stuff, which is like bags of beans, cans of goods. I mean, literally, there is probably food resources that are spoiling. And I know for a fact the farmers were told to dump milk and throw it away. Then we had like cucumbers and other vegetables that I seen they were throwing away, squash, potatoes, other things. Why in the hell are they not giving this to the people? There's something really wrong here. And one more quick thing on this video before we end this. You notice like in Canada and a lot of other places, the really sick are the ones being taken out. That's called Agenda 21, guys. Population thinning. Let's kill off the ones that are just, that worked all their lives, that are getting a check finally, that paid into the system. Oh, we don't want that. We want the fat cats, want all that Social Security money to go pee away on some stupid thing. Or in the past, we've given it away to other countries that would stab us in the back. Again, it's time to bring home the jobs. It's time to bring home the business. Japan's doing it. Trump's been trying to do it. It's time we do it. Period. And with that, I'm fired up about it. You should be too. But I love you all. Stay safe. My throat's a little spent. I think it's just because I've been doing things and working out in the sun. I'm okay. You're okay. We're going to make it. What we're talking about, though, share. Spread the word. You have ideas, too. Don't be afraid to step up and share your thoughts and your ideas, not just with me, but with other people. Don't be afraid to pick up that phone and call the senators and your governors. And literally, just call. Keep calling. If they don't answer you, keep calling again. Send the email. Just keep going, guys. Keep hounding them. They need to be told, we're not going to take this. This is our network hour. If you don't know what network is, it's an old movie where people were tired of the crap and they threw their windows open and he says, scream out there, I'm mad as hell and I'm not going to take it. Well, you know what? If they're not going to give us the food and they're not going to give us the money, then we need to go out and we need to make a scene. Bottom line, in addition to calling and picking up the phone. What do they expect us to do? Die in our houses without food, medication, and other things? I don't think so. This is America. They have responsibilities to take care of the American people. In your countries, too. Wherever you're at, guys. Your countries have responsibility to take care of you guys. I'm tired of all countries treating us like we're expendable, we're garbage, we're deplorables. No, we're the backbone of society. We're the ones that pay the taxes. We're the ones that do these jobs. You notice all of a sudden grocery people are very important now. You know, the guy that pumps your gas, he's still pumping gas. I mean, these are necessity jobs. They should have been called that all along. Instead, they treat people like crap and pay them a minimum wage. That's one thing that the one side did get right. Is minimum wage does need to go up, guys. Whether it means we pay $1.25 for $1 hamburger, so be it. If you can afford to pay $1 for a hamburger, you can pay $1.25. You know, you really can to have it done. You know, I'll pay $1.50 if it's made in America. I'd much rather know the beef and the stuff was made in America. Who knows what the hell we're eating when they're bringing that stuff from over there. And now that we know diseases like this, by the way, can be passed so easily and get into foods and products and last for how long? All along, we should have been taking better care and watching what's been going on. But no, we sat back. We watched our TV. We watched that evening news where they tried to get us to fight the left and the right and over the Russia, and all this other stupid crap. Why they milk the system over and over. The monies, they're milking the monies now till it's dry, guys. The time to stand up is today. Pick up the phones. It's the weekend. If you're not, do this for yourself. I've asked you guys, please do this. Go out and write down things. Go and see how to plant seeds. Write it down. There's all kinds of neat little ways. Even if you're in apartments, you can do them from hanging bottles and stuff. Cut the bottoms off of 2-liter bottles, and you can plant stuff in that. And they drape down. Really cool ideas out there. And the reason I'm asking you to write it down is because I got a bad feeling the internet's getting ready to go down, guys. This is not fear. This is reality. Go back and look at all the stuff we've been ahead of the curve. I'm not kidding you that the internet is looking bad. And with that, the reason they're not shutting the power off to all of us, because they want to keep us like rats in a cage. They know if they shut the power down, nobody's going to stay in their house. So again, it's like, we're slaves in invisible chains, guys. All we do is work and pay, and then we get this little bitty car to drive around, and we're paying through the net. And the banks charge us interest up through the ass. I mean, literally everything you buy on a credit card, because you can't afford normally to go get it if you don't. You're paying so much interest. It's time for the banks to eat it. You notice they haven't stepped up. They were the first ones. Wall Street and banks got the money. Where the hell is the exemption on the credit cards, the bank loans on your cars, all this other stuff that I asked for 2 months ago, and I've been harping on for the last month? The banks can afford to write the stuff off, or at least postpone it, and keep your credit score up. But you know what they want to do? They want to take us all out and steal back what little bit we have. This is no different than the housing market, where they illegally falsified loans and got rich, and then only one company or two went down. All the rest of them are still out there. You think Goldman and Sachs and all those scumbag, trashy pieces of you know what? That's the trash. That's the people that are expendable. Those scumbags, they're like leeches stealing from us. Stealing every last dollar from us. The banks are the same way. They're not too big to fail. It's time to let them hit the dirt. And I'm going to end it with one last thing. If you think we're not in a depression, then hold your hand up. I don't see anybody's hand up. So it means we are in a depression. And we are in a depression. Definitely. I'm telling you. Go back and compare what went on then and what's going on now. We're not out of the woods. Guys, you know how many unemployment people we've got right now? This is going to change overnight. Let's say even if this Wuhan monster boogie's on somewhere else. Like we've covered, it can come back anyway a second time. But let's just say, for instance, it boogied away. You think overnight all these people are going to go back to work and everything's going to be all kosher and you're going to get your jobs back and businesses are going to be there? Businesses are going to crash and burn right now. Small businesses especially. You know why? So the big businesses can eat them up, which they've wanted to do for years. You watch, out of the dust, these big business bastards, yeah, that's right, I said the B word, are going to come out and they're going to take and chomp up everything they can eat. And they've got the money to do it because the government just gave them the money. Where's our money? Where in the hell is our money? And I am mad as hell, and I ain't going to take it. And I hope you do the same. And I hope you share the word that, after this, we're not going to take it. We're not rolling over and dying on this. And when this is done, we're going to become strong. We're not going to fight with each other. We're going to bond. We're going to take to the streets. These 1 man million march things, it's going to become the yellow vest thing over there. I'm proud of you guys for doing that. We're going to do it everywhere. We're going to pick days. We're going to hit the streets. And if you're disabled, you're going to pick up the phone and you're going to raise hell on the phone during those days. I'm talking to you that's disabled back there. You can help too because you're awesome. You're part of the team, Team 99. We can make a change, guys. This is our time. Right now, they think it's their time because they got the monies and they're rolling in it right now and they're all happy again. But you know what? The smile's going to get off their faces because we're not going to let them get away with it this time. We're going to come back stronger, no matter what country you're in. We, the people, united worldly, not just the United States. For once, from the ashes, we're going to be the Arab Spring that's going to be bigger than any Arab Spring, better than any 1 million man march. That's right. Out of the ashes, we're going to come. And it'll be our time to take back our countries, to see that the government works for us, because they do. To see that we get extra shares of potatoes and 2 pieces of cake at dinner if we want it. Or 2 Big Macs like the president. All of you. You can always put one up for later, Microwave it. It's all good. But the point is, we're going to have it because it's our time. And I love you guys, man. I just want to see. This is an opportunity. We're going to suffer more, unfortunately. We've suffered now. But you know what? Out of this, there's no need for us to suffer for the rest of our lives. So what we're going to do is we're going to pick up the phones. We're going to march. We're going to make our voices heard. We're going to make little signs to put in our cars when we go shopping that says, we're not going to take it. We're taking America back. We're taking France back. We're taking Australia back. We're taking Canada back. We're taking everywhere, no matter where you're at, no matter what country you're in. You make it on a little piece of paper, put it in your window when you go shopping. That's what we're going to do. We're going to do that. You guys got some interesting little slogans and stuff? Send them to me. We'll get on it. We'll start working now. You know what? That's a good plan. While we have time, let's prepare for the future. Sound good? And healthcare sucks. Good night, my friends.